Hi, Warriors. Let's go. Blake, how you doing? Hi, Mike, RC, Ryan. Who else is around today? Hi, AJ, Ingmar, James, how are you doing? Hugo, Avito, welcome to F.A.C.E. Good. I'm glad you're doing okay. So I want to address the S&Ps because I think they caught a lot of people flat-footed, and I'm going to do it with the SPY. All right, so basically we're just moving sideways, on a 4-hour chart, look like a flag, you don't know. Um, then Powell comes out late in the session, takes the market down, and with a SPY chart, you could see that we gapped down. So what we actually did was leave an island top. We'll see if it could fill the gap in the SPY. It'd be filled at uh, 592. Okay, so we'll see if that happens. It's interesting today you have stronger NASDAQ and not as strong S&Ps. All right, another lesson here. What do I think when everyone's looking for one number? Okay, and even I was looking for 6,100. What's my view when the whole universe is looking for one number to trade? Anyone remember? Hi, Paul. It either never gets there. That's the second part of it. You have the second part, John. So we didn't get to it. We didn't get to it. We got to 60-30 before we left this island. So everyone was waiting for 6,100. I think if we get up to 6,100 now, it's heading a lot higher, especially if I think we get the correction that's possible. I was talking to Dale Briscoe, and he was very bullish, and I keep bringing up that everyone's in. I'm not saying this is the top, but I think the market is set up for a shakeout, and maybe we get a shakeout into Thanksgiving, into early December. I know some cycles that are due then, so we'll see. Um, so that's S&Ps, and I look at what happened on a weekly basis on all of the tech, all the big tech. Okay, so Amazon, it ended up putting in a reversal week, and that made new all-time highs before that happened. And you can see it gap down as well, but it's been the strength. All right, so we're diverging here. I don't have to go over semiconductors. You guys know they all collapse, right? Um, and we do have NVIDIA this week. It's going to be a big deal. But then you look at something like Google. Look at this. This is its first high. But look at Google. All right. This is pretty classic looking failing rally with the rest of the market. Okay, Meta. Meta. I met a girl. She looks so fine. Anyway, Meta, Alphabet, they change all the names, Facebook. Anyway, so failing rally here. This is a short candidate for me. And that's the S&Ps. So, I'd be careful there. I mean, we held a pretty important area. And, I actually want to go to Ryan. So, Ryan, I know you're looking for support on a pullback in S&Ps, but what do you think about that Reagan analog now? Does it have context?
Which one?
The Reagan analog of a blow off after a sweep, and it rallied for about, I don't know, about the same amount of days. A lot of people were showing it. They were showing the market analog.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah, I'm here, mate. Yeah, I wasn't paying much attention to that at the time.
I know because you said it didn't have any context,
Yeah,
and
it doesn't. It
it
still doesn't.
doesn't it now? I mean, two landslide victories and basically, uh, you know, so
It
far it
looks.
looks like Trump might be putting in some type of high here, just
Yeah,
like
it's
he put in
possible.
a low in 16.
Yeah, but we've had a fairly decent rally since Trump got on board. We
Yeah.
we haven't got what was it 17% interest rates like we did in when Reagan took over. So
Oh, I
it's a
see.
completely different kettle of fish
Okay. All
to
right.
what's going on here. Rates are being cut over here. They were getting ramped up in that period. So yeah, it's a different world.
Okay. All
Mags
right.
didn't have Mag 7. I don't know what the Mag number was back in those days.
What
IBM.
a lot more euphoria now, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, yeah, probably
Yeah.
very
Okay.
much so. But this, you
Would
look
you
at
buy it? Would you buy this break? Are you looking to buy it?
no, we're right on a support level right now, which I highlighted last week, 58.75. It's trying to hold it. We had
Yeah.
a little dip under last week, but it's trying to hold it now, not looking like it's being too successful at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could pull back further. Again, you got to look at it in the context. You stick it on a daily chart, and what is it? This is just a minor pullback.
Well,
Um,
they all start that way.
they all start that way. Okay, then I'd say when was the last time we had a major pullback? 2021, and even that major pullback was
I'd say this was a pretty good pullback.
yeah,
It was 20. I mean, in the S&Ps it was 10%. In
yeah,
Nasdaq it was 20%.
yeah. But how far what are we up for the year still?
Oh, I'm just talking about a trading opportunity. I'm not
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about you know what I mean?
yeah,
I'm just saying where's the pain trade? I think the pain trade is down because
yeah,
everyone came in. I heard a lot of people say, I'm going to step aside for the election. And I said the pain trade would be that they'd have to come back in higher. They'd be forced to come in. They're
yeah.
in. They're in. I mean, yuppies have 76% of their cash in stocks.
Yuppies. Oh, blimey. Now you're going back to the Reagan era again.
Yeah. Well, all
Yuppies and their
right.
mobile phones. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Well, they
if
have
this
the
gets back down,
wealth. They have the wealth in the country.
exactly. If this gets
Yeah.
back down to, 5,700, 5670, that was a big, huge break point, which is right on your August dip there. You look at the high, your number two that you've got on the chart there. Then we dipped
Yeah.
back to 52, and then we came back up and knocked around 57 for a while, and then the break happened and it was off to the races again. So yeah, 56, 70, 57. That's the big area. If we're
All right.
getting back under that, then you've got a proper turnaround on
That's
your hands.
that's a real good point. So, point two, you had momentum all the way up here. But look at what's happened during point three, even the here, and then it really surged right after the
Yeah,
election. Can't
yeah.
get over 70. Houston, there's a problem. All right.
Exactly.
Anyway, Blake, will you please take over?
Are you guys struggling?
He's struggling on a Monday. Look at that.
Huh?
Struggling?
I have one one other good piece of news to share with the community that
Oh,
uh, our current president, Joe Biden, is going to allow the Ukrainians to blast off missiles and hit Moscow. So Joe wants to go out with a bang.
Yeah, that was a
but
bit
I'm
cheeky,
bummed.
wasn't it?
Huh?
That was very cheeky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, so we're getting a nice little recovery in the precious metals today too. So uh, they're due,
yeah.
right?
I thought risk might have moved a bit more on that, but Russia or the Kremlin came out this morning. They sort of brushed it aside, saying that it hasn't been made official. It was just a
Oh, okay.
sources story, and then they dropped the but if it happens, then that
Yeah.
will escalate tension. So they've
Yeah.
they've brushed it aside for now. So that's
Yeah.
that's one thing, but we'll wait and
Well,
see.
their firing pins aren't in yet. All right.
Still,
Anyway, I think we're going up to 32 in silver. And I don't think this is a major buy for a move to new highs. I just think it's going to correct this and then head lower. So, Blake,
You
what are
know,
you
I'm
doing
I'm
with?
actually surprised that gold hasn't been able to get back above 2,600.
Is it?
So,
Yeah, because
yeah.
it's gone to 24.
yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Well, anyway, well, Dale, I can take over from here if
All right.
unless you were
What do you
joking.
think about? No, no, I'm not joking. What do you
Oh,
think about?
okay.
What do you think about how sneaky it was, Blake? That it really happened. You have to react maybe in an hour or two to there possibly being, major disappointments setting up in the market about maybe no rate cuts in December, and then we gap lower the next day. People haven't gotten out yet. And, we're up a bit today. I'd say that the normal reaction is, eh, big deal. But you don't see islands a lot. So unless you used to watch Gilligan, you don't see a lot of islands. So anyway,
Some of us got that pun. We got it.
yeah,
We got it.
yeah. Anyway,
So, yeah, I mean, I think markets are a little disappointed. There's a couple reasons. First of all, I think by this weekend, I had expected that we would have a Treasury Secretary announced, and it seems like the position is up for grabs, and so I think that's one thing that markets are like, oh, well, that's a bummer. But the dollar hasn't moved much. I mean, well, actually, I'll take that back. The dollar's actually been relatively strong as yields have been strong. And so when you're looking at the dollar index, we're just basically poised right up at the highs, and we're just consolidating right up
yeah.
against resistance. And then you have yields that continue to grind higher as well. Ryan, it does feel like the yields are going to continue to break out, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it. We had a little go last week, and that looked like it was someone's after the stops, but it got a pretty big slap back. 10 years got slapped back from 450 back down to 440, but we're back again now 447. So it's becoming a bit like dollar CAD. It's when more than if we see 450 break, and if that goes, then I think the dollar potentially takes another leg.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
these
like that.
grinding moves, and that's exactly how it feels. And I feel like dollar CAD's up there against 141, doing the exact same thing it was doing at 140. And I'm sure you probably feel the same. But you look at this 10-year, and it's just pushed right up there. Now, I do want to. I'm going to continue to go into some other pairs, but I actually want to talk a little bit about the yen, because the dollar yen actually made a really, really big move off of the 154 level. And if you guys weren't in the ForexAnalytix chat room here, I'll just give you an update. And yes,
Oh,
that is
yes.
Miss
Hi.
Denmark, Dale. See, this is what you
Wow.
miss, Dale, by not being in our chat room all the time, every day.
I'm gonna have to change that.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, that's Miss Denmark. But anyway, I want to go. We have to go back to. Sorry, I have to go back to. Uh, I don't know. This is this is last week. Sorry. Last night, Ueda's comments last night basically were Ueda's comments last night were basically not, in my opinion, not, you can see, doesn't sound like they're close to hiking. Now remember, you got the Bank of Japan meeting in December, and it doesn't feel like that they're going to raise rates. I mean, what did you make out of those comments after you I know, Ryan, you were sleeping, but when you woke up and you read what was happening there, and some of his comments, what were your initial thoughts?
Yeah, exactly that. He didn't indicate anything either way. He stuck to the script that they'll hike if their forecasts and the economy performs as their outlook forecast. So yeah, no hints at all. But I think this is his first talk since the last BOJ meeting because of all the political shenanigans going on over there. He hasn't been speaking an awful lot. And
Yeah.
he stuck to the script, really.
Yeah, he wanted to, yeah, right. He wanted to steer clear of the lack of majority that the LDP has right now. And anyway, you've seen the dollar yen really try to probe. This is ahead of Ueda because I was, had my eye on it ahead of his speech or ahead of his talk. And we were pressing through 154 very, very briefly just before he spoke. And as soon as he spoke, whoop, right up to 155. It was like, okay, he didn't tell us. He didn't give us any indication that he's raising rates this next meeting. Now, I think he left the door open, but it's every central banker basically leaves the door open, right? They don't veer away from that too much. So anyway, the little update about the dollar yen. Now looking around at the rest of the market, I mean, Ryan, how important? I mean, you look at the euro and we know we're at support. I mean, everybody knows we're at support. It's 105, right? 104.50, 105. I mean, this is it. And everybody knows if we get below that, it could get ugly. What do you think would take us below that level of support? What are you going to have to see in the market to get us to break down here?
Again, it's going to be US yields. If we're going through that 450 in tens, then I think that 105 is in big danger, as are a lot of pairs that have bounced from reasonable support. Cable off of 126, Aussie dollar 64.40, Kiwi, is right bang on it as well. It's level. So there's a lot of decent support levels in a lot of pairs, long-term support levels. And
I noticed you skipped the Kiwi.
No, I said Kiwi.
Oh, you did. Oh, but Kiwi looks like it looks like it wants to flush, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
So I think if we get that 10-year yield move, then the dollar's going to kick off, and that would be one big danger point for euro dollar. If we test that 105 without the yields move, then I might be interested in adding back the bits I cut on my long. But if we go in there because yields are busting up, I'm probably not going to touch it, and then I might even.
So let me ask you. So you're playing euro to the long side. I haven't looked in the trades room this morning. Sorry. And if you guys want to look in the trades room, all you have to do is when you're in the ForexAnalytix community, go over here to the trades room, and you can actually probably scroll back and see exactly what Ryan's doing, which would be up here somewhere. So you'd have to go back and see where he's at. So what are you thinking? You're long a little bit of euro here?
Yeah, I traded it last time we were down here, and look what happened with that bounce. These are big multi-year levels, and when you test them, you've got to give them a go. The same as 112. How long I was banging on about the 112 level when we were climbing up there. Yeah, and it does. There's no guarantee it's going to hold, but it's certainly holding a lot longer than some of the other levels that we've tested, like Kiwi, for example, multi-year levels, and now we're breaking down. So. Yeah, technically, this is more a tech. I wouldn't like to be long euros for any other reason. So this is just playing off the text down here.
And so you're in the camp that if it does break down, it's probably going to get kind of nasty.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly.
All right. That makes sense. Let's talk a little bit about equity markets, Dale. Equities seem a little heavy here. We broke through 5,900, and if I'm just going to reference ForexAnalytix, these are things that we talked about last week. We build the bias chart every day, with the ForexAnalytix community on the morning edge. So all these numbers are derived every single day as a group. We kind of go through, and all your traders are in there listening, and we figure out why these are such important levels, why asterisks indicate very key levels in the market. And I've been doing that for 20 years with our traders. But you'll notice one level that I wrote on the S&P was 5,900. That was our first level of support on Friday, and we busted through it. And now we can't get back above it. So is equally, in my opinion, as an important level now to the upside this morning that it was on Friday to the downside. So now this 5,900 level is pretty key. But I got to ask you this, Dale. You know, it seems like the market is getting a little bit concerned with, you know, some of
Reality.
President Trump's recent cabinet picks.
Yeah.
You know, people are starting to, you know, talk about, and if you read, you know, some, you know, articles on, you know, on Bloomberg or Reuters about the opinions of what, you know, the market's kind of thinking, hey, this is his picks aren't so much growth related and what could help the economy. It's more of being divisive. And I think the market's getting a little concerned there. So I got to ask you this: do you think the S&P could continue to pull back at this point?
I do. I'm looking to sell a rip and see what happens if we get a rip.
How about if we
Uh,
don't get a rip? What are you going to do?
I'll miss another trade.
Ah, yeah, well, that's all right. That's okay.
I mean, it's an odd answer.
Well, yeah,
I
you
don't
know,
walk on water.
sometimes we just have to chase the market lower sometimes, right?
I
So
don't chase anything. Trouble finds me.
I've seen you karaokeing, and I'm pretty sure you chase around the bar sometimes.
No, that was my marketing plan.
Oh, okay.
I
All
didn't
right.
have to
And
do anything. I was a commercial.
you were just a walking commercial.
A
All right.
billboard, a singing
So I want
billboard.
I want I want to spend a little bit of time with you guys just to talk about the S&P, and let's talk about why this is all important. So if you guys don't know why we stopped where we stopped at the 161% extension of the last leg lower. This is the end of summer sell
You
off,
called it.
right? Yeah, we hit 60. We were, I thought we were going to go to 60.44. We went to 60.37 or something, whatever the
Yeah,
high was
clean
there.
it up.
I know.
Yeah, but I
We
remember
came
you
really
said
close.
we're just. I remember that day you said we're just 10 handles away from this extension,
Yeah,
and we
and
almost
but
got
now
there.
look at this. This is what makes it really, you know, this is why the numbers work. This is why, you know, if you understand Fibonacci's, this is why it's all important. Notice where I have a support zone. The support zone is the breakout area. The breakout area is obviously a big pivot. You can see it right here in the middle of July. You can see it right there, 1st of September. You can see right there, 1st of October. Obviously, you know, ahead of the elections, we came really damn close. And then, you know, obviously the
Yeah,
election
right.
got that. Now,
As Katie said, a buying climax.
yes, now that's the support zone. Now take a look at here from this low to the high. That level's the 38% retracement. So if you just, you know, let's go here and just delete everything else. Let's do that, that, that. Okay. Now you can see just the 38% retracement is critical. So if you want to ask me, where is really critical support today for the or for this week for the S&P? It is right there. And that is 57 or 5680, right? So you can see I have 5790, which was the next level support right here, 5790, which we're going to be coming into here in a bit. And then below that is this 5670. And if that level gives for some reason this week, I don't know what the reason might be, but if it does give way, I don't think you want to be long equities anymore. Period. End of story. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Why don't you draw a wedge line off the low in August and off those other lows?
You mean like this? I mean,
Yeah,
we can. That might be one minor stop.
yeah. Well, look at the confluence with the moving average here too.
Yeah. I mean, this is not the 50 DMA, or is it the 50? I guess it is the 50 DMA. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you know, you got a little bit of support there. So yeah, I mean, these are levels where I really care this week, you know. And another thing, it is November. Everybody thinks about like seasonals and Santa Claus rally. You know, I've seen Santa Claus, you know, deliver gifts ahead of the holidays. I've seen him deliver gifts after Christmas too, when you're talking markets. So, you know, just because you guys think that, you know, there's a Santa Claus rally and we should be, rallying into year end. Sometimes it happens after Christmas and between Christmas and New Year's. I've seen everything as far as that goes. Don't you agree, Dale? There's no like set scheduled date that you got to start buying equities.
Well, I've been getting a lot of coal the last few years from Santa. It's been bringing me coal. So I'm
Is it
mailing
leaving
it.
you sacks of
I,
coal?
I'm mailing it all to Ryan so he could stay warm this winter. All right. That's what I'm doing.
Thanks, Dale. Much appreciated, mate.
But wait, there is also an expression that the bears feast on Thanksgiving and the bulls on Christmas.
I tried to repeat that and I said, "Oh, it was with Jim Welch this week." And I said, our good friend Dale, he says the pigs feast on Thanksgiving
Pigs
and
fry.
there
No.
and I jacked it all up, Dale.
Yeah,
I'm so
because
sorry.
they're not kosher, so they don't feel. Anyway, that's an expression.
Yeah.
I've been, I knock around a little bit. There's a lot of things happening around December 7th and 8th. So, in fact, I talked to this one Astro person who said that the lineup on December 7th of 2024 is similar to the one on December 7th, 1941, only more intense clusters. Margot Amala. So, sometimes you do an interview and one thing kind of sticks in your mind from
Yeah.
the interview. So that's been, haunting me since she told me that, you know, these cycles, there's things I pay attention to.
Something to be thinking about. Well,
Yeah.
hey, let's
Can you
talk about this week
that would
ahead.
ruin
And
Christmas.
Ryan, what are you thinking about this week ahead? Like what's on your radar? What are you really focused on this week?
Well, we've got a lot of CPI reports out
Yep.
this week. So that's one thing to keep an eye on. Data's not overly busy. RBA minutes tomorrow morning could be fairly interesting to see how far that shift is away from their hawkish rhetoric of late. Whether it can do much for the Aussie dollar, I don't know. I'm still playing Aussie Kiwi shorts. I don't know if you're still in. I know you were in at some point.
I'm playing. I'm trying to get hit on some Aussie Kiwi shorts. I've been trying to get hit on a rally, and if you guys, again, if you're in the ForexAnalytix chat room, I say right about here, somewhere up here is where I tell everybody where I'm looking to get in anyway. But
Well,
yeah,
we
I'm
could,
trying to play that. What's that?
if you pull up your dollar chart, we could get a pullback to 105.70. That to me is a very important area. And then make another run to the upside. So
But
I
how
mean,
about if the dollar doesn't pull back? That's the thing. Everybody, thinks that oh, it's one-way markets, they can't happen. But when a
yeah,
trend
I
gets
know,
entrenched, I mean, you look at the dollar, this is a
I
massive
know,
move. I mean, from a percentage point of view, in the last, what is that, month and a half, we've gone
huge.
7% higher in the dollar index.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I was talking 109, so
I
we're
mean,
not
well, why
there
can't
yet.
we see 109 before we start seeing pullbacks? That's the thing is
Well, we could,
we could.
but but if we do pull back towards 106, it's a buy to me. 106,
Okay.
105.
Okay, so if we can get to
That's
106, it might be a buy. So Dale, your focus is right now on the dollar, and that's what you're looking at this week, right?
well, I think it's a linchpin. The dollar, it took, all right, the sequence. Dollar turned good, metals turned bad. Next, and rates kept going up. Then the yen started getting toppy, and then then the market sold off. So I mean that rotation's in force, and this could be a failing rally in the end from what happened Friday. Do you think we're going right to new highs here?
In the dollar yen?
Yeah.
Oh, in the dollar, I'm actually looking to sell the dollar yen, but it's
All
not at
right. Well, that's what
these
I mean.
levels.
Where are you
Yeah,
looking
I
to
mean,
do it?
you look at the dollar yen as we're still in this channel, and as long as we're in this channel, you have to be really, really respectful of it. right?
So under 154, would be your signal.
Yes, yeah, this
Okay.
week.
Okay.
But after what Ueda said yesterday, it has to, or last night, it has to be yields that break down to drive the dollar
Okay.
yen, because it ain't going to
Okay.
be the
Yeah,
BOJ, or unless they
that's
intervene,
true. That's true. Or
unless
risk
they
off.
intervene for whatever reason.
Or risk off. You think that the yen would
Yeah, I
rally
mean,
during risk off?
I'd like to believe that, but we haven't seen much of that. I guess on Friday you saw a little bit of yen strength when
Yeah,
and just so you know, Dale, I'm short Aussie yen and I'm short Canadian yen, and I'm
okay, so you,
running a
yeah,
95 pip profit in the Aussie yen. I'm hoping that, yeah, a little bit of risk off is going to carry the
yeah,
yen higher, but it's hard to get too immersed in that trade when the dollar yen is still holding up really well and yields are still stronger.
yeah, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Oh, do
is.
you have an interview today?
Yeah,
Oh, is he here?
I'm looking for our tour.
Oh, okay.
Are you
Well,
here,
I'll
buddy?
I'll let you look.
Oh my God, I have to become Forex guest hunter again.
You have to go be Forex guest hunter. And so
Oh
let me,
gosh.
while you're doing that, let me go back to Ryan really quick. Ryan, you're focused on some of the CPI data this week. Uh, at the very end of the week, we're gonna get the PMIs from Eurozone, UK, and obviously US PMI. That's going to be like the last kind of kick in the pants we get for FX at the end of the week. Being in the UK, you got new government with the Labour Party. How are you feeling overall about the UK economy? Just as a boots on the ground, I live in the UK. This is how I feel.
Yeah, well, I'm never one to get as bearish as some people, but it's not looking overly great at the moment. So yeah, it's things that we had a poor GDP last week that was worse than expected. I think there's probably going to see a bit of fallout from the budget coming into these numbers, these PMI numbers. Maybe people holding off of an investment, that sort of thing. But yeah, I think the new year is going to be important. You want that sort of new year pickup, don't you? That
Yeah.
positivity to take us in, but I don't know. I think we might see some further green shoots from the manufacturing side of things. We have seen a few PMIs improving slightly, still in contraction, but improving. So we'll see if that continues. But yeah, I think UK and Europe, Eurozone are sort of neck and neck in the low growth stakes at the moment.
You have right now or this week, you have retail sales and then you have CPI both being released today ahead of the PMIs this week. So that I guess that does pose a little bit of risk for sterling. I mean, I'm surprised that euro sterling just is as strong as it is once again. I mean, we did get this false breakdown, and next thing you know, here we go. We're on our way. We almost tagged the 618 retracement. So do you think this euro sterling is something that can be played back to the upside and back towards like 84, 85, or excuse me, 85, 86 pence?
Yeah, I mean 85, 86 looks a bit of a stretch at the moment. We can just
Yeah,
about
because
get
you're
away
really
from it.
buying euros to do that.
Yeah. So, I might, if we get, I think the CPI obviously has the potential to be a bit more sticky than elsewhere. So, if that's a sticky one, we probably get another look towards that 83 level. That's something I might look at to try a little long from because it's holding down there again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't rule out a test of up to 84. Whether we can get through 84, 84.20 is another question indeed. But if it's a real soft number, CPI number, and then soft retail sales, we can probably get back above 84.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Scott asked, the level I'm looking at the S&P is just go find July's highs. That's the breakout point. Because you might be looking at futures, you might be looking at a CFD. I don't know what you're looking at. So just go find July's highs in the S&P, and if that breaks, you don't want to be long anymore. Like that's a false breakout, but big reversal. Probably, people are crapping their pants. You know, anybody who's long is going to be taking it off because that's all below like you are breaking pre-election lows, and then that would be a problem. You know, because everybody would be like, shit, this Trump trade is really unwinding. So Dale, do you have is your guest still here?
No, seems to be I'd have to be covert to be able to lo locate him. I think he's in the shadows somewhere, and um, he might be afraid to be a public speaker
You know,
today.
yeah, maybe
Uh, you've
probably.
talked to him before, haven't you? Or
Yeah,
no?
I have. Well, I don't know if I interviewed
Did
him,
you
but
scare
I
him
know who he
away?
is. I
You
think I
didn't
did,
scare.
actually. You were out, and I took over.
You scared him
Anyway,
away.
well,
All right.
Dale, I want to say thank you for being here. Happy Monday to everybody. You know, I'm sure Dale's got a huge
What?
schedule of who do you got coming in this week?
Let's see. I've you you and
Me,
Ryan.
Ryan.
Now let's see. I have Ben Maldonado coming in Wednesday,
Oh, nice.
Mr. Epic, and then Angie that we could talk about grains, and my Tuesday he rescheduled.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's it. So I mean Ben and Angie.
All right.
All right, I know it's weak, but we
Oh.
average it out from last week. It's and holidays. People they don't want to book anything around the holidays.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
They're
But
leaving for a week or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Dale, I want to wish you a wonderful rest of your day.
Okay,
Ryan,
guys.
thank you for being here. It's kind of a slow day for data, but it picks up after today. Just you know, for everybody, just let me just say a few things. So we'll have, as Ryan pointed out, we have the RBA monetary meeting minutes, which will be tonight. Tomorrow will be monetary policy report hearings in the UK. Should that be a market mover, Ryan?
Probably not, but you never know what Bailey might pull out his. I would say his arse, but his hat.
Okay.
Yeah, but I shouldn't think so.
Well, if you got Canadian exposure, tomorrow is going to be a big one. We have Canadian CPI, so that's going to be a big one that everybody's going to be watching. That's like really, and we're going to obviously cover that live here tomorrow.
You guys have
Um,
been all over Canada, almost all the way up.
no, I've never been past Edmonton, so I haven't been all the way up.
Well, I mean, you've been
Just kidding.
USD CAD.
I'm just
Yeah, I
kidding.
mean, it's something you knew when we were that breakdown from that false breakdown under 36. So, I mean, you've been
Yeah,
positive for 3 months now.
Like
thank you.
syrup on
And
pancakes.
Ryan and
You
I,
too, Brian. You too, Ryan.
Ryan and I picked up the dollar cat. I started building that position the day we were on this show when the Canadian dropped to 139, 39,
28.
37. You got 36. You
Yeah,
bought
that
it one
was,
pip better than me. Then I bought
yeah,
37. Then I built a really big position for the breakout above 140, and it's been my biggest position of the year.
yeah,
So
yeah, nice.
yeah, well, we'll see. I'm not out yet. So
Yeah.
you know, but it's a big
Hey,
breakout.
well, look at what the VIX did today, Friday.
Oh yeah, we look like
And
we're gonna fill the gap.
okay, so that would be a play. So
Yeah.
that means you got to buy another dip in Canada if the VIX is going to go again, right?
I mean, if VIX fills this gap, then the dollar
I
CAD's probably going to 142, I
I
would
don't
think.
think it'll fill that. It's not going to come down that much and fill that
You don't
gap.
you don't think the VIX is going to fill that gap?
Oh, above it, yes, but it left it. I thought there was a gap underneath it.
No, no, no. I'm talking about filling this
Oh
gap.
yeah, yeah. It's going to
This
take
is
it
the
out.
election gap.
Yeah, it's going to 40.
Ooh. Well, well, if we're going to 40, then that's gonna be something.
That's be about
Um,
4,900 S&P.
Whoa, now no, Dale. Now he's just pulling numbers out of his butt. All
Well, I
right.
figured we'd close the show strong.
All right. Well, guys, I
I
want to
don't make you
say,
wrong. I don't
go
make
ahead.
him wrong. If Ukraine launches a missile that hits Moscow, then yeah, probably 49 is probably the least we'll see.
That,
Oh,
oh yeah, yeah,
that
that's
makes you
true.
mad.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
that would ruin our Christmas. I'm telling you, something is going to try and ruin December. Just a vibe.
You know,
Doesn't mean that we can't have a good time, but that thing that Margot's talking about is basically we got attacked, right? So this is like a another similar setup to that day, only more intense with more of these clusters, whatever they are. I use the word cluster for cluster F, but in astro terms, I don't know what cluster means.
cluster
Sounds like a
flub.
sounds like a candy bar. Anyway. All right, well, everyone, don't just count your Milky Ways, count your blessings. And Ryan, thanks for letting me hassle you a little bit today.
Of course,
And
always a pleasure, mate.
it's a lot of fun when we do that. And
Yeah.
Blake, good job. And tomorrow, turn around Tuesday, let's see what happens. But just be on your toes because that really happened fast. All we did was move sideways and they put us all to sleep. Get to 6,100 already, get to 6,100 already. And then within about 2 hours of trading, we had late Thursday and Friday happen. I think people are, flat footed. We'll see what kind of rally they could generate.
All right.
And okay, buddy.
All right.
So,
Sounds good.
all right. So, hey, you know what, guys? Besides joining, why don't you tell all your trader friends about F.A.C.E, especially the ones that are lost and getting blown out all the time? So at least they could have a base level of understanding after hanging around in here for 8 years. Okay. They should at least be in here if you know people that are struggling, because they learn how to chart. It doesn't matter what they trade. A chart is a chart is a chart. Change the lettering above it. There might be different beta, but it's all traded the same. So spread the word about F.A.C.E. It's about time. It's the best place to learn about trading on the net. And I'll see everyone tomorrow. Adios.
Thanks, Coach.
All
Thanks,
right.
Ryan.
See you, buddy.
Cheers, guys.
You guys are going to do that? Well, keep doing it. Tweet it. Use social media. You're all on social media. Okay, I will, Simon. Thank you. Adios. Okay. It'll be very cheap. You know what happens when you buy something that's cheap? It breaks.